After fleeing to a quiet foreign town for a year to escape her breakup, Anastasia Steele never imagined that Damien Sterling, her ex, would turn the world upside down searching for her like a man possessed. She thought the madness had finally burned out. But the moment her plane touched down, he caught her. He dragged her straight to his lavish penthouse hotel suite in the heart of the city, binding her wrists with a silk tie from his own collection. His eyes burned red with fury as he loomed over her, the air thick with his raging resentment, the kind that could crush empires. She met his glare with ice-cold defiance. "You left a letter. Didn't you think I'd read it? You wanted to slaughter every man who so much as looked at me. I've had enough. Your mindless killing, we're done. Let me go." With every word she spoke, the dangerously handsome lines of his face grew darker, stormier. His powerful frame trembled as he leaned in closer. "Anastasia Steele," he growled, voice low and lethal. "Who the hell told you I agreed to any breakup? What makes you think you can dare say those words to me?" She didn't flinch. How could she? From the very first moment they met, she'd watched him gun down 5 men without blinking. That memory alone kept her spine straight. The fire in Damien eased just enough. He shoved her back onto the massive king bed, stripping off his shirt in one fluid motion, revealing the hard, sculpted chest and chiseled 8-pack abs that spoke of ruthless discipline. Panic surged through her. She bolted from the bed, darting around his towering form toward the door, fingers fumbling desperately for the lock. A deafening shot exploded beside her ear. The bullet hole in the door screamed that this was no illusion. Her legs gave out, and she collapsed to the marble floor. Damien Sterling is insane. The massive, imposing man strode forward from behind, scooping her up effortlessly and carrying her back to the bed. He stared down at her with a dark, predatory smile. "Still thinking about running, baby girl? I could let you go. But tell me, do your pretty legs run faster than my bullet?" He pressed the cold barrel of his gun against her calf. The mental torment was unbearable. She couldn't let herself get tangled with this madman again. If she did, there'd be no escape, ever. Stealing her heart, she met his gaze without fear. "Kill me or let me go." Kill intent flashed across his breathtaking features. His hand shot to her throat, fingers tightening, but he hesitated to pin her down fully. Through gritted teeth, he snarled, "I'll end you right now. She's mine. Every breath she takes belongs to me. No one else will ever have her." The next night, deep into the hours, Damien sat on the leather sofa in his New York penthouse, cigarette burning between his fingers, thoughts scattering like smoke. He'd handled guns since he was 3, trained in the shadowy headquarters of his organization's empire by 6, became a flawless sniper at 8. By 14, he'd inherited the full ruthless power of the underworld syndicate. He met her 2 years earlier while hunting down a rival boss in a foreign country. That day, he'd gone berserk, dropping 50 enemies in a hail of bullets. When it was over, he called his men to pick him up. That's when a young woman stumbled into the alley, Anastasia. Without glancing at the blood-soaked scene, she hurried to a dumpster, lifted the lid, and climbed inside. Damien watched her indifferently until she sealed the lid. Seconds later, 5 burly locals charged in, scanning the area. Seeing only him leaning lazily against the wall, they demanded in broken English if he'd seen a young girl. He ignored them. One thug, enraged by the dismissal, raised his gun, but his companions stopped him. They circled the alley, finally kicking the dumpster triumphantly. One yanked it open and hauled her out. The men eyed her with vile hunger, dragging her away. At 19, she finally broke, tears streaming as she caught sight of the smoking stranger in her peripheral vision. Like clutching a lifeline, she begged, "Please save me." A flicker of amusement crossed Damien's eyes. "I don't do charity deals, little wife. What do I get out of saving you?" Facing death, she shouted desperately, "Anything. I'll do anything if you save me." Satisfied, he smirked, drew the gun from his waistband, and in one swift motion, blew out the skull of the man gripping her wrist. Hot blood sprayed across her skin. Before fear could grip her, she ran to him. For more precise shots, for more headshots. When silence fell, her legs buckled. Damien approached, bent down, scooped her into his powerful arms, and carried her to the waiting luxury Maybach at the alley's mouth. He kicked the door. His subordinate swung it open instantly. As the car sped away, the driver stole sneaky glances at her in the rearview mirror. Damien's brow furrowed dangerously. Eyes off her if you want to keep them. The man paled, focusing rigidly ahead. In the back seat, her mind raced. This man radiated danger. If he took what he wanted and didn't let her go. The car halted at a sprawling suburban villa. Damien stepped out first, extending a large hand. She took it obediently to exit, only for him to sweep her up bridal style again. To the driver, get lost. Tell the others not to disturb me for days. He strode into the opulent villa on long, powerful legs. His subordinate watched in shock. The boss was claiming a woman. Inside the marble bathroom, Damien set her down, smirking. Shower yourself, or do I help? I'll do it myself, she whispered hastily. He nodded and left, closing the door. As water cascaded over her in the rainfall shower, she plotted. The villa was remote, escaping blindly risked recapture, especially with his gun. Better to wait until his guard dropped. Maybe after he got what he wanted, he'd release her. A knock. Done yet? She scrambled into a plush robe. Almost. The door opened. A fragile, soft girl emerged. Damien pulled her straight to the master bed, his massive, muscular body pressing down, claiming her lips with fierce dominance. She's mine to ruin. No one touches what's mine. The next midday, she woke in Damien Sterling's possessive embrace. Trying to slip away quietly, his arm locked tighter. Where do you think you're going, good girl? I have things to handle today. Can I go back? His eyes remained closed, but a dark smile curved his lips. Clever girl, testing me. He knew she was probing for freedom, but he had no intention of granting it. When he finally opened his piercing eyes, what's your name first? Anastasia Steele. He repeated it obsessively, like a vow. The way he savored each syllable chilled her. No hint of letting go. Releasing her, he rose, revealing deep scratches on his broad back. She averted her gaze in shame. New clothes on the nightstand, Cartier selections. Dress, come down for breakfast. I'll drive you back. Relief flooded her. After he left, she dressed in the luxurious silk pieces, wincing from soreness as she descended to the dining room overlooking manicured gardens. She plotted back at school, booked the fastest flight home. Damien placed a gourmet breakfast before her, sitting opposite. Eat. She obeyed silently. The drive was tense, his jaw clenched from her silence. After leaving the villa gates, where to? How long? Moss Academy. Until tomorrow morning. His veto was instant. I'll pick you up at 7 tonight. Playing compliant 7 sharp. Go handle your business. See you tonight. He stared intensely. You sure? Positive. He sped off in his sleek Lamborghini, dropping her at the academy gates without another word. Heart leaping at familiar surroundings, she hid her excitement. Can I get out? Anything you want to say to me? He wanted her to admit the lie. I'll tell you tonight, okay? He nodded curtly. She walked toward the entrance, then heard him call her name. Turning, she saw his intense gaze. Anastasia Steele. I'm Damien Sterling. His smile sent her heart racing wildly. She waved weakly and fled inside. Immediately, he dialed Surround Moss Academy. Now, back in her dorm, she packed passport certificates, booked the earliest flight on a burner phone. Rushing out, she collided with a cleaning lady. 15 minutes later, disguised as the cleaner pushing a cart, she slipped past the black-suited men encircling the campus. Students whispered fearfully about possible terrorism. Her heart pounded seeing men checking phones with her sleeping photo. Luckily, they dismissed her. Far away, backpack retrieved, she prepared to sprint to the airport, only to look up and see Damien Sterling standing ahead, staring with predatory calm. Evening plans, Anastasia? You're quite the liar. She bolted. He caught her wrist mid-street, grip unbreakable. Tears streaming, I gave you everything last night. Why won't you let me go? His jealousy flared at her tears. Because I want to marry you. Stunned silence. I don't like you. Stop wasting time. He crushed her into his chest. Hearing his thundering heartbeat, hers faltered. I can wait until you do. Give me the chance. Ultimately, he carried her back to the villa. From then on, the billionaire CEO and mafia boss prepared her meals himself, hand-washed her clothes, returned no matter how late, holding her possessively through the night without demanding more. Many dawns, she woke to the sound of him showering in ice-cold water to restrain his obsessive desire. He granted surface freedom but shadowed her with guards. He toured the entire country with her. Private jets to Italian estates, yachts on crystal seas, Maybach drives through vineyards. Anything catching her eye, Van Cleef jewels, designer gowns, he bought instantly. The turning point came 6 months later. One lingering morning he hadn't returned. Restless in the sprawling bed, jealousy and worry gnawed her. Had something happened? Or another woman? Every thought favored escape, yet joy eluded her. Staring downstairs, am I falling for him? No, Stockholm Syndrome. But memories flooded him, saving her, his racing heartbeat in the street, half a year's tenderness. Love isn't always controllable. A sports car roared into the courtyard. She raced downstairs. His men supported a pale, blood-soaked Damien, gunshot wound bleeding profusely. Doctors rushed in, operating on the sofa, IVs, anesthesia, bullet extraction. She gripped the railing, terrified. Just as she'd accepted her feelings. His vitals weakened. Men crowded, eyes red, begging him to hold on. She stumbled forward, kneeling, clutching his hand. Damien, can you hear me? I love you. I want you alive. If you live, I'll marry you. Please. Minutes later, he stabilized. She poured out their memories as surgery continued. His men guarded outside, the boss finally claiming his beauty. 3 days later, waking in his arms, their eyes met, smiling. Was it all true? She kissed him softly. Yes. I love you. Overjoyed despite wounds, he spun her in circles. From that day, the possessive husband no longer held back. 6 months more, their bond like glue. One day, freshly departed Damien received a call from her old high school senior, now an artist hosting an exhibition. She agreed to help. He'd once saved her from low blood sugar. Dressed conservatively, she arrived at the venue. Spotting her, he jogged over warmly. Anastasia, you came. Let's eat first. I've eaten. Show me how to help. Rejected twice, disappointment flickered, but he let her in. In the car outside, a subordinate hesitated, then dialed Damien. In a remote villa, Damien interrogated a kneeling rival coldly. How do you want to die? The man begged for family mercy. Damien shot his shoulder. Any more requests? Upstairs, a woman and child descended. The boy rushed, 2 shots. Precise headshots. The man collapsed in horror. Damien to subordinate, don't let him die easy. Phone ringing, the call about her with another man. Eyes reddening, he raced off in his Ferrari. At the venue, as time waned, she prepared to leave with a painting to adjust. He offered his jacket against the chill. Refused. Probing, do you have a boyfriend? Yes. Stung, he followed as she hurried out, nearly falling. He studied her, fingers lingering possessively on her skin. She pulled away. Thanks. Goodbye. Gunshot. His hand bled. She turned, Damien had shot him. Damien, stop. He touches my woman, he dies. She blocked the gun, pleading home. Seeing her fear, the obsessive alpha male lowered it reluctantly, pulling her to the waiting car. Back at the villa, he tossed her on the bed. Why protect him? He just helped me up. You maimed him, nearly killed him. Too far. His eyes scarlet, anyone touches what's mine dies. Furious, she watched him order the man's death on phone, until she bolted to the balcony, threatening jump. Panicked, he yanked her back. He matters that much? More than my life. He's innocent. Don't kill for me. I won't see him again. He relented, but a thorn lodged in both hearts. Days blurred, he avoided her by day, returned to ravage her possessively by night until fever struck. 103 degrees. Realizing excess, he rushed her to hospital himself, slapping his own face in guilt. The dark romance mafia boss feared losing his submissive little wife. At her bedside, red-eyed, anywhere hurt? Hungry? Overwhelmed by questions, she laughed weakly, holding his hand. Too many. I don't know which to answer first. His apology, I was wrong. Sorry. But the sorry wasn't for her. An innocent suffered. Silence returned. Later, the senior visited despite bandaged hand. Shocked, she urged him out. My boyfriend's returning. Sorry for your injury. I liked you. Any feelings for me? None. He left tearfully. Outside, subordinates barely restrained raging Damien. He burst in post-visit, scooping her up, pinning against wall and scorching, claiming kiss. 20 minutes of dominant passion, neck marked possessively. Take me to bathroom? I'll carry you. No, myself. Waiting, an apple rolled to her feet. She picked it. A teenage boy retrieved it, accidentally brushing hands amid rushing nurses. Unfazed, she admired a rainbow from window, heading rooftop for better view. Muffled groans. Peeking Damien grinding heel into the boy's hand. Daring to touch my woman? Subordinates watched helplessly. Damien kicked the boy's head, blood gushing. They pulled him back. He's mute. She'll worry if you're gone. Reason returned. He left the broken team. Hidden, she emerged guiltily, offering an signed card for medical care. Sorry, my fault. The boy, mute from birth, smiled up, clutching ankle briefly. Back, Damien smoked by window, dialing for fertility expert. Seeing her breathless return ran so fast? I'll always wait. Wiping sweat tenderly promised never to run? Tense, he'd seen her rooftop resolve to leave his toxic possession. Forced I love you. His laugh bitter, her love soured. Pin her to wall, phone ordering floor cleared. Belt unbuckling, hospital punishment, tearing fabric hints, dominant claiming despite protests. Baby girl, resist and you'll not leave this room for days. She submitted, last love shattering. Late night, he cleaned her gently, dressing in his shirt, carrying wrap to car. Subordinates dismissed, private drive home. Bath and master suite, possessive hold through sleep. 4 a.m. call headquarters attacked. He prepared war gear, kissing swollen lips farewell. Too dangerous to bring her. She'd overheard, seizing chance. Black athletic wear, hidden passport, breakup letter decrying his killings and obsession. Slipping kitchen window, evading guards distracted by call. Hitched ride to airport with kind family, flight to foreign exhibition city. Goodbye forever. He airborne to battle, called repeatedly, no answer. Assumed sleep. 6 months later, he woke from coma, shot protecting distracted thoughts of her. Men wept. He demanded her whereabouts. The letter, her goodbye. Heart shattered. She's mine. She can't leave me. Out month later, birthday party turned tense. Forced companion cried, struggling, manager coercion. Damien cold. She begged help, offering anything, splashing wine on his precious letter. Fury, shots endless into her body. Protecting damp letter with blow dryer. Subordinate's silent agony. Months obsessed, locating via billion-dollar painting mailed to senior. Raging at her blind date return, he flew home ambush. Hotel, drugged drink at bar reunion. Watching sleeping form empty still. Morning pain, phoned a friend for pickup. But he awoke unbuttoning anew. How were these 2 days, little wife? Not answering my question.